Sitting under the sun for hours is how these miners in Solba in South Darfur spend most of their days. They're looking for gold, their main source of income. But not all that is dug up by miners here is sold legally and goes into government coffers.
Gold gets smuggled because of the instability in its prices and lack of control at the border. Difference between prices given by the central bank and what traders offer to buy from miners helps in the smuggling of gold.
Sudan is one of Africa's top gold-producing countries, exporting over 90 tons of the precious metal in 2018. It accounts for nearly 30% of the country's export. And up until the beginning of this year, the only entity allowed to legally buy gold from miners was the country's central bank. But a soaring inflation and a currency that has continued to lose value against the dollar turned many miners away from the official routes and to more lucrative paths. Now, private companies are allowed to deal in the sector with the condition that they sell 30% of their gold to the central bank as well as deposit the hard currency they earn to help Sudan's weakening economy. Revenues from gold mining have provided a much-needed source of hard currency to Sudan's economy for years. But the income's estimated to be only about half of what it should be because of smuggling. With the inflation rate at about 100%, Sudan's government is looking to reform the gold sector to boost its economy. Since taking over in September last year, Sudan's transitional government has pledged a series of economic reforms to combat inflation and improve living standards. More than half of the 40 million population live below the poverty line. The government has increased wages of civil workers and raised spending on public sectors. It says it hopes to partially cover the costs of those reforms through the gold sector. But with millions being lost annually due to smuggling, some analysts say the real reform that the government needs to do should come from within.
The problem with the gold is really smuggling, which is not, done by any scrupulous traders or anybody else, but it has been done by certain circles within the government itself, and by those who are supposed actually to protect gold smuggling, which makes it very difficult when you come to the reform of stopping smuggling, because it's done by those who are supposed to actually stop smuggling.
Whatever steps the government takes, for miners in Solba, the only thing that matters is that they get paid fairly for their efforts to dig up the gold, regardless of who buys it. Hiba, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.